How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to me from the RLCS World Championship in Fort Worth, Texas. We had a pretty crazy time, and in today's video, we're going to do a little bit of breakdown. We're going to talk more so big picture storylines, so behind the scenes stuff, things that you guys didn't get to see off camera about like blast production perspectives and some of the things they did, things they could improve. Basically, my review of the event, as well as kind of going over some of the results, kind of overall narratives and storylines and my takes. But primarily gonna not deep dive a ton of the games. You guys saw the upsets you guys watched. So with that in mind, we're gonna jump over to the other screen and make it real easy for you. First things first, the event itself. Shout outs to Blast. I think Blast did a good job of slowly ramping up through the entire season. While yes, there were hiccups and some spectator issues at the beginning, overall pretty clean event. There's a couple problems here and there. Nothing's perfect. There's a lot of coordination, a lot of stuff going on. Grand finals pause, everybody was pissed about, but it's like the headset wasn't working. It happens. They got to replace it and make sure things go smoothly. So overall, pretty smooth event. I think things went pretty dang well. Realistically, I think it was a good event. Dickey's Arena, I think a lot of people really enjoy. I think the venue itself is pretty sweet. Very accommodating. The rooms and stuff are nice. The seats are good. And the competition, I think, really lived up to it. At the end of the day, we are there to watch matches perform. And what I really liked about the format is while there were still upsets and crazy matches, like we've seen Genji struggling and they continued to struggle, you know, losing to teams like Quick Trip Pioneers and stuff. The teams that we expect to almost always be in the top 8 made the top 8. The teams that were supposed to be towards the top were at the top. So the format really supported that. They always made sure to give advantages to the top tier teams to make sure they had additional lives so they would move forward, which is good for a multitude of reasons, both for the business perspective and viewership and all stuff like that. I think the grand finals peaked around like 400 some thousand viewers, which is very, very good. I can tell you that viewership in the past was probably a little bit botted, and there was a lot of drop bots and stuff like that. We got a more natural look at what viewership was like. You saw a lot of people being like, hey, I was watching the G2 Counter-Strike team and I popped over to see this RLCS thing that was going on. And I've never had so many heart attacks over the course of like 2 games in my life. So you are starting to see again what the World Championship is supposed to bring, which is non-organic viewership coming in. And we did get a lot of that. A lot of people, because those big names were in the big moments, they were able to tune in and get the ball rolling. Also, the AFL format, I think, did well. It's technically a glorified double elimination, but it is a weighted double elimination, which benefits the teams performing better. The teams that are the better performing overall get those extra advantages like Fury and K-Corp, which I think worked out great. I think it did exactly what it was supposed to. We'll talk about the new format in a future video, and I'll allude to that later as well. But overall, I think the format did what it was supposed to. We got some good matches. The only thing we wish we had was wild cards, more teams, and things of that nature, because there is always those one-sided affairs when you're talking about teams like Gladiators and Limitless and so on and so forth. So with that said, kind of going through the bracket and stuff, the first in-person day was all the Oath 201, you know, the elimination matches. So we saw like the low sides of everything, which I think worked out pretty well. I think we got to see everybody on stage, which was really, really cool. It's a good touch. And the production leveled up from day to day as well. A lot of upsets throughout the tournament, which is always exciting. It's always awesome to see the thing that you don't expect happen. There was a lot of game 5s, a lot of OTs, a lot of down to the wire matches. I think the Vitality Space Station one really stole the show. LJ's absolutely cracked. That boy is going to either get poached or get the bag. Either way, he's going to be paid. Even teams that were kind of like a couple teams we were unsure about, you know, like what's happening with Mates currently, still going toe-to-toe with the former world champs. Like, it was really good. It was good to see the format kind of spread out over multiple days, because it also makes it so you have time to adjust to your competition. You have to perform consistently, which is what the players want. The players don't want one bad day to be the make or break for their tournament. And because they did the staggered rounds, big changes. The other thing that was really, really cool is we saw an accelerated schedule. And for those that don't know what that means, even though we were watching like 8 best of 5s on a day, which is usually like a 9+ hour broadcast, they cut out death segments to make sure the flow of the show went faster. So they would say, hey, we got a death segment. We're going to watch 1 and 2 back to back with a slight pause so people can get on stage and set up. And then we'll come back to stage with us with the desk, and we'll do some recapping and going through it. And it saves a bunch of time. It saves like roughly an hour and a half of time of broadcast time. And little things like that Shout outs to Paul Shepard and some of the new people that they're bringing in as consultants and onto the staff. They're really trying to make this a well-oiled machine, both for viewership retention purposes and just because we don't need to hear all this extra fluff stuff when there's matches to be played. So again, a lot of things that you guys may not pay attention to on the wide perspective of things that make a big difference for making things more entertainable, making sure things flow smoothly, like a lot of good stuff there. So I think the matches lived up and delivered. I think there was a lot of entertainment. I think people were very excited to watch these matches play out. I think when you get to the top 16 teams in the world, especially when you start getting into later rounds, it's kind of hard to be upset because you're watching international competition with top tier teams. It's always great. Shout outs to Oxygen, who wasn't even supposed to be there, putting up a really good fight and giving something for the crowd to root for. But overall, I think the event itself, when it comes to competition, the performances and stuff, it was fantastic. A lot of people dogging on G2, but like, let's call it what it is. The worst for this entire year they performed was second. They got a bunch of wins. Second place at a major. They won a major. Second place at the World Championship. Epitome of consistency. At the end of the day, winning world championships, winning events comes down to moments. Very specific moments that, despite all of the build-up and all of the things, sometimes it's just that one bad call from a referee, or it's that one mistake or a dropped catch or whatever. Obviously, I'm using the NFL as an example, but it's still similar here. Sometimes, hey, it's a bit of a shit flip to the side and you miss, or a bad touch that just bonks off you wrong, or you know what? You make a human error. Those are things that are realistic, and those are the things that haunt you, and you make sure you work hard. There's the iconic photo that we're using for this thumbnail, for this video, of a over-the-shoulder shot of Beast Mode. It's got Beast Mode. It's got his jersey on the back saying his name, and over his shoulder, it shows his perspective of what it's like to watch the other team lift the trophy. Things like that are going to either motivate you, and I talked to a lot of people about it this weekend while I was there, which you guys were fantastic. You asked for tons of autographs and pictures and stuff. Feel free to tweet those at me and stuff. I always love seeing that stuff. But those types of things are world and like career defining moments. Either Beast Mode and the team is going to go on in their revenge arc and they're going to grind harder than they ever did as motivation, or those things are going to stick with you and they're going to say, hey, you know, maybe I do take a step away. I don't want to keep doing this. Everybody reacts differently. That is what makes the good and the greats. That's what separates the legacy players that have been doing it, that have their name enshrined in history. Speaking of which, obviously you guys saw the event go down. I'm going to assume, but BDS, I'm going to do a full video on this in the future. Monkey Moon is officially the GOAT of Rocket League. I don't care what you say. I will defend it with my life, but Monkey Moon is the GOAT. Two-time world champion and a whole bunch of other accolades. I've brought the receipts. I'll make sure to break that down in a video, but Monkey Moon is that guy. So good. Even with G2 dropping it, and yeah, a couple mistakes here and there. Really good competition, really good fights across the board, really exciting stuff. We also got the show match between First Touch and Chalkcast, which probably gave me my favorite moment of the entire tournament. It just goes to show that while, yes, the gameplay was kind of poo, when you focus on content, when you focus on entertainment and the personalities, you get really, really good moments. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, my favorite moment from the entire event is this.
Oh, baby! Come on, man! It's free, bro! It's free, bro!
Oh, that was the whole thing.
Look devastated, look devastated. Wait, let's cry. Everybody.
Oh, when comms come out, that's
again
supposed to be behind the scenes.
There is ways to do entertainment. There is ways to make sure we're having a good time. And again, even with the loss, like, obviously it's a show match. It's meant to be entertaining, but the look of devastated and stuff, the post-production on that, absolutely fantastic. As for the event itself, a couple things that I really enjoyed. Number one, Blast did a really good job of accommodating and trying to make it so as many people could stream on the creator side. It is very important when you have all of these creators attending your event because they and their fan bases also want to meet them. So the fact that we had what was deemed the call center because it looked like a customer service center where everybody's like shoulder to shoulder and just the phones are ringing. They had so many stream setups for content creators in case they wanted to stream. They also had featured content creators, some of the bigger guys, the LG, or the former LG team stream with Spaceman and Crowley, which was insanity. They like baptized Dazarin, and like it was bonkers. I'll try to find that photo. He looks terrified, and rightfully so. They had like Clayster and Pure Gangster on there, and like just a lot of cool things of what could be. Like, I'm just telling you guys. Here, let me find the photo. Dazarin looks terrified, rightfully so. If you guys have ever seen the movie Get Out, similar vibes. But yeah, I'm just saying, dude, like the fact that they enabled that, all the alternate broadcast streams, like, yeah, if you guys didn't go to that stream, you missed out. It was goofy. But like, they had all the alternate broadcast streams. There was 2 like Spanish ones, a couple French ones. They had the Rocket Street guys. They had all of those guys were in arena. So even though they are not officially part of the RLCS, they still got to cast in front of a live audience at LAN. And while yes, their voices weren't going out, they still, for their fan bases, got an opportunity to do their craft for their language broadcast, which is absolutely fantastic. There was a lot of things like that you guys don't see that stuff, but it makes a huge difference for everybody else involved. It makes you feel a part of the show. It makes you feel recognized. They're starting to do more stuff with creators. I was very happy to see that they actually featured custom maps. You guys got to understand, like, Epic and Psyonix do not like showcasing things that they don't have control over, or things that aren't actually built into the game. So the fact that they sat down with Lethmir, one of their largest content creators, probably second to Musty, they put him in feature pieces in the middle of the show. They showcased custom modded maps and like rings trainings and stuff with pros doing them, is a very good sign for the future. And it may not seem like much initially, but like Psyonix is starting to come around to the idea of like, we make a really cool video game, but that's our expertise and that's it. We don't know about esports. That's not our expertise. We don't know about how to grow and expand. We don't know, like, so let's focus on what we do best, which is Rocket League as a game. We built a beautiful physics engine for a sports sim, and let's allow these community and these creative heads to go wild. And it's slowly getting to that point, and I'm very, very happy. And you see that specifically with the esport, with Blast saying, you know what? We have control of this. Yes, you're going to step in a couple different things, and it does 2 things. It allows the competitive team on Epic to focus on what their jobs actually are. The future of this game, sustainability, making sure people are paid and the game doesn't die out. It's allowing them to focus on actually doing their jobs. And then the people that run esports full-time, like Blast, can focus on running an esport. And it's like this perfect build. Like, together they are trying to build something for the future. And it instills a lot of confidence. And while, yes, there is a ton of things, I saw the roadmap for 2025. I can't tell you guys anything about it. There is a lot of things that I'm very excited to see. And I'm not just doing that to blow smoke. Like, it feels like for the first time in 10 years for me covering this game, Rocket League is finally getting it. Like, they just understand the importance of doing these things. And I'm sorry it took this long, but it's like, there's going to be some changes that you guys don't like trading going away. But if it helps the sustainability and it helps keep Rocket League alive, I'm for it every single time. So I think there's a lot of cool things. And the big one that you guys saw at the end is the announcement for the 2025 format, the changes that they are making, things that I have been begging about. And if you want to hear my thoughts and opinions on that, make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We'll be talking about that in a video here shortly. But yeah, any questions, any opinions on stuff? There's a lot of details I know I missed. There's a lot of things I missed out on. Let me know your favorite stuff down below. It was great meeting all of you, getting to sign pictures and talk and just shoot the shit. So many Packers fans came up and we're talking about the Colts win, which was dope as well. So that was a vibe. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to do this for a living. Thank you for making these events special for me. But that is going to do it for today's video. Stop by the stream. We'll be covering a lot of off-season chaos that's about to go down, as well as some special announcement coming in the near future. But that's going to do it for me. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.